Hey everyone, MC Thomas here. Today I'll be talking about Spirited, a holiday musical that's meant to be a modern version of Charles Dickens' classic story, A Christmas Carol. It's an Apple original, and proof that Apple Plus does actually have content outside of Ted Lasso. It stars Ryan Reynolds, Will Ferrell, and Octavia Spencer, and those three names alone are enough to draw a lot of viewership. In the world of Spirited, we learn that the haunting of the three Christmas ghosts is actually an annual project to reform a selfish human into a good person. The ghosts of the afterlife treat these hauntings like a production, complete with rehearsals, actors, scene setting, etc. That's actually a pretty clever and funny spin on the classic Dickens story. At first, it seems like a simple, modern remake of A Christmas Carol, but then we learn that it's also a continuation of Scrooge's story. And we also learn that Dickens' original story exists in this world. The movie can't seem to decide if it wants to be a remake, a sequel, or if it wants to just be meta. Either way, the story was interesting enough to keep me watching, and our three leads are likable as always. Will Ferrell plays the ghost of Christmas Present, but we learn that he also takes interest in living a life on Earth. He has a childlike innocence about him that almost reminds me of Elf, and the movie itself even makes a funny reference to Buddy the Elf. Ferrell's character wants to try and reform Clint Briggs, played by Ryan Reynolds. Briggs is a media consultant who makes a living off of creating online division and controversy. Reynolds' performance is exactly what you would expect. He's witty and fast-talking with rapid-fire jokes, and he strikes just the right balance between snark and charm. Yeah, it's the Ryan Reynolds performance we've seen plenty of times before, but his charisma is undeniable. And of course, he's always a hit with the ladies. Not even the ghost of Christmas Past could keep her hands off of him. While the movie does have an interesting premise, I don't think it takes full advantage of it. The film is mostly a comedy, but it also has moments that are deep, emotional, and at times surprisingly dark. A big part of the plot involves characters going through a journey of change, but there are multiple instances where the emotional scenes are quickly undercut by jokes or a sudden musical number that distracts from the main plot. Yeah, there are a lot of songs in this one. And yes, I do realize that it is a musical, but I think there are a couple of songs that could have been cut. Most of them are pretty forgettable, but I do love the Good Afternoon sequence. That one was a lot of fun. Our three leads aren't bad singers, but I can't say they're great either. I'm sorry to say that Ferrell's singing isn't a mixture of Fergie and Jesus. To this movie's credit, the set pieces and dance choreography are well done. The way it's filmed reminds me of a stage show, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. If you're into Broadway-style shows, I think this movie will be for you. All in all, I'm glad I saw Spirited, but I don't think it's one of those movies that I'll watch every Christmas. I think it would have benefited from less musical numbers and a little more time dedicated to the serious emotional scenes. But our leads are interesting and likable enough, it got some laughs out of me, and I did like the twist they put on the classic Dickens story. I say give it a watch, and let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I hope you all have a good one.